As part of the SpinFX IT Easy Suite 2022 R1 release, we've further enhanced the Easy Migration solution. Through this release, we've focused on a few key areas. Firstly, gaps in functionality. So we've added additional better remapping for when moving data from one system to another. We've added the ability to have better control of the copy, being able to easily exclude records from being copied, and also to be able to add additional tables quite easily. So if something's missed, you can easily add that to the copy. And scalability. So larger systems, especially with huge tables, can now be catered for by copying subsets of those records. So those are just a few of the enhancements, but let's take a further look at some of them in more detail. So firstly, when we're copying from one system to another, previously we've been able to copy things or remap things like wage types from one value to another, or personnel areas and sub areas and so on. So through this release, we've also added in all of the groupings, the personnel area groupings, and the employee group subgroup parameters. So this means that especially when merging two systems together, you may have clashes of these fields and these values. So it's now actually possible to reorder the number ranges, especially something that will be used more in Europe. And we've allowed all of the fields on these tables to be remapped. So you can easily just change the groupings during the copy, and it will rename all of the all of the tables that have these groupings in it will be automatically renamed during the copy or renumbered. Second one is that when you're doing the copy, as you would probably know, by default we pick up all of the tables that are in the implementation guide of SAP. But often either customers have their own tables, Z tables, and they want to be able to move the content of those, or if something isn't picked up automatically by our copy, it's now possible to add these. So through the menu, we've added the option to add customer tables. It's simply a matter of going into here and selecting the button to add table or a view. So these are the tables that we've already added at the customer site, so nothing will be there initially. And you can easily add either, as I said, a table or a view. So a table will allow you to simply enter in the table name. You still have the ability to add multiple tables and link them all together. But if it's just a single table, it's just a matter of entering the table name in. You can have your selection criteria as well. Now, if it's a maintenance view, this will automatically add all of the relationships and all of the subtables into this. And what this does is it saves it into the configuration, and you can actually select that as an additional copy type. Okay, the next option's related to the Easy Migration, but within Easy Reporter reports. So if you're doing a copy where there's actually remapping occurred, so for example, you've moved wage type, you've remapped wage type 1200 to 2500 during the copy, then when we compare the data between two systems, that data will be automatically, or will always show a mismatch at the moment, because the values are different. In the old system you'll see 1200, and in the new system you'll see 2500. So through this change, as part of Easy Reporter, we can tell the report to use the Easy Migration conversion settings. So this option's only available if you've got Easy Migration turned on. But essentially what this does is it allows you to then automatically remap the values when we're doing the comparison. So in other words, when we compare from the old system to the new system, the report will pick up the wage type 1200, will automatically remap it using our settings to 2500, and it will compare that to the value 2500 in the new system. So it allows us to align the data and validate that it's actually the same. So within Easy Reporter, in the setup of each individual report, we have three options. We can actually not do anything, so there's no migration conversion settings done. We can say do this automatically for every field on the report, which means you don't have to do anything. It will just automatically pick up if there was a data coming from a legacy system and there was a conversion setting, it was being converted to a new value, it will automatically change that value. Or you can use the option M, which is that you set this manually. So this allows you to have columns set up that will convert and some columns that won't convert. Now for those manually done ones, that's good because it actually allows you to see the old value, the new value, and the new value when you're comparing the data. So you can actually see what the original wage type was and what the new wage type was. With that option, essentially to set it at the column level means you would go into the conversion settings for the column and you would set this to the option of use any easy migration conversion setting. So that needs to be set on each column that will be converted. If the column you don't want to do any conversion, then just don't set this. The next change is related to memory usage on migration. So because previously we used to copy some very large tables and it would load them all into memory at once and try to pass that across to the new system, and that would cause often memory to become too large, and especially because it also copies all subtables. So now what we've done is we've changed the ability to handle these memory automatically, so that if a table's got a large number of records, and it's around 75,000 records, then it will automatically break that up and it will copy the subtables separately as well. So we shouldn't see into the future any memory errors during any of the copies. So there's nothing you need to do there, that's automatically set as part of the tool, but just to be aware that we've increased the functionality for that. The next one is around the exclude tables. So in Easy Migration, previously you have the option to exclude or include records. But what happens is this is based around the IMG node. So you would often find that something such as a T512W, which is a wage type, might be in 10 or 20 different places. So if you want to do a copy and exclude just that table, it meant that you would have to go and find where exactly it is. So now when you exclude a table from being copied, it will ask you this question: do you want to exclude all occurrences of that table from the copy? And that will, if you select yes, it will go through and remove all or exclude all occurrences of that table. So it makes it a bit simpler to manage this, especially if you're, for example, at a local country level, you might say, well, I don't want to set up for Australia superannuation. I might want to configure that completely separately, and I don't want to copy anything to do with that. So you would exclude that particular table, but it will exclude it from all places. So there's no chance that you would accidentally include it, that it would be you'd forgotten to exclude one node and suddenly the table gets copied. Also under the exclude is that if you, with the way that Easy Migration works, is that especially when copying certain tables, they're nested within each other. So something, for example, like a wage type might have relationships to the wage type text. And if you exclude the record for the wage types, you also want to exclude the wage type for the text because they're interrelated. So what this means is that by clicking now the exclude button on a top table that has subtables that are related to it, that will automatically exclude all of the subtables under that node. So this really just makes it, streamlines the way that you use this tool a bit better. Now, if in a previous release, and we actually made this change in one of the patches as part of 2021 R2. However, I'll wanted to talk about this here. So previously when we generated the IMG configuration, It picks up all tables, including views, but there's a thing called view clusters, which essentially is multiple views that sit within a view cluster, and they were not being picked up by the copy. So as part of this release, and also as part of the latest patch in 2021 R2, the view clusters are automatically picked up during that copy. Okay, so they're just an overview of the main changes of Easy Migration. These are the specific case numbers in case you need to reference any of those or want more detail about those. But hopefully that gives you a good overview of the release. Thank you.